discussing runes and their significance. I'm not going to go over all the ways you can acquire runes, but I will just briefly say the best ways are through the battle pass, through the weekly missions, or for boss killing via dungeons or open world bosses. Now to get into it. So, runes. What are they? How to use them? Well, I don't have any in my inventory right now, so what we're going to do is we're going to come down here to Stoneguard. I'm going to show you one of the places you can craft the rune boxes. So when you break down the runes, you will get this material in your inventory. And this material can be used to craft a rune box of your choice. But you're only going to get one rune from it, alright? Only one rune. So don't think that this is like the best way to farm runes, alright? So the rune fragments is the map that you're going to get when breaking down or deconstructing or dissolving, whatever you want to call it, the runes that you have. Alright, so now that I have one of the boxes, I'm going to go into my inventory and open it up just so you can kind of see what the runes look like if you haven't seen them yet. Okay, so I got a level 40 green for boss hit chance. Now when you come over into your main menu, I don't know what it's like on PC, but on console you come down to this bottom bar menu down here and you click on the rune management. Alright, then you'll have all the items you can place runes in highlighted, like as you can see here. And then you can see all the runes that you have available over here down in the box on the left hand side. Alright, so now you want to select something to put the rune on, so I'll hit my wand here. Well, you can see that this rune down here, it's only for a belt. It doesn't go on a weapon. Alright, so now we got to come down here to the belt. And now you can see, well, this is the attack slot. Alright, now you can see here there's three different types of slots. You got attack, support, and defense. Okay? So when you first get any item, you gotta come in here and it's gonna cost you some Solent to unlock that slot. And you want to make sure that you have one of each of these. Okay? You want to have one of each. And the higher tier, the better. So as you can see, I have all blues, all blue tier, no whites or greens. Now the reason for that is, you see that the damage reduction and max health 400. So I'll put my virtual cursor so you can see this right here. So that is the rune synergy, okay? So you get those synergies by a combination of these three. So down here you'll see that there's a synergy list that you can view. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So if you're using white runes, this is the order of the runes. So if you start out with an attack and then defense and then support, you can get damage reduction. If you do attack, then support, then defense, also damage reduction. But if you do defense, support, then attack, you get boss damage reduction. Same if you do defense, attack, support, also boss damage reduction. So then when you get up into the greens, that means you have all green runes. Okay, so you have to have all three as green tier, green quality to get these green buffs here. And then you'll start getting better buffs in the greens. And again, you can see the order that you need the runes over here. Okay, so then you come down to these blues. That means you have to have all three blue tier runes. Okay, now you can see right here, this is the buff that I have. Damage reduction and max health. Alright, now you can see you only get that right over here by having the attack rune first, then the support, then the defense. So attack, then support, then defense. And once you have all blues, that's the buff that you'll get. Now there are other buffs that you can get in here, up here in the blues. And then once tier 2 is released and there's purple runes, you'll have purple synergies as well. Now, not every gear piece is going to have stat points for the buff. Okay, but some do. So if I come over here and I click on my staff, for example, you'll see that I have a dexterity buff to this one. Now, if we look at all the buffs, you're going to see that this has pretty much only stat bonuses. Okay? Now, the higher tier runes you have, the larger the stat bonus and the synergy bonus will be. Okay? Now, you're also going to get CP, or combat power, based on the runes that you have. So, white runes give less than green. Green gives less than blue. And as you get higher levels, you can see I have a level 24, level 36, and a level 34. Okay? Now over on this wand, I've got also 2 30s and a 20. But some of my other items, as you can see here, are up in the 40s now. So the higher level you get also increases your combat power, or CP, okay?
The better the weapon,
now,
the more important it is
each of these is going to have its own type of buff. So so this one right here, for example, is a hit chance. Now, just like your weapon traits, the best attack runes to get are hit chance, critical hit chance, and heavy attack chance, okay? Now, that's still kind of... It's based on tier. So let me just say, if you have a bad blue, it is still better than a good green. Okay, a blue rune, it will always be better than a green no matter what the stat is. But that's only because of this synergy. Okay, you want the synergy. This synergy gives you a better buff than any of these rune stats will. Okay? So you always, when you're going through and you're selecting what runes you want to look at this synergy list, see which buff you want out of the available buffs, okay? And then you look at the order of those runes, make sure you get the runes in those order, okay? And then you're going to put whatever the highest tier rune you have in that slot, okay? So since I had the belt from that rune that I crafted, so I have a green here. Well, I have a blue up here, so I'm obviously not going to use that green. That would be a downgrade. So the only reason I would swap out this rune right here, which is Boss Magical Critical Hit Chance, the only reason I would swap that out is if I got something that was also blue that had a better stat and a higher level, okay? It will not have a better stat if it's not a higher level. So if I have a rune at 36, that's Petrification or something like... Yeah, I'm just throwing things out. But if I have a particularly bad stat for my attack rune, and I have another blue rune that's 2 levels below, but it gives me hit chance, well then it would be better to put on the hit chance even though you're dropping 2 levels, because it's still a blue. But if there's like a 5-level difference, so if I have a level 36, that's a bad trait, but I have a level 30, that's a good trait, I'm going to keep that level 36, because that's going to end up buffing my character overall a little bit more. So as you go through and you're collecting runes and you're getting better gear, you always want to make sure that you are constantly updating the runes, okay? So you're going to come in here and make sure that what you have is the best combination of things that you have available, all right? And you want to go through each individual piece and make sure that you've got the best possible combination on that piece. It will affect your stat points, it will affect your damage and your defense. All of your stats are greatly affected by the runes and the rune synergies both. So like you can see over here, with my spear, I've got melee hit chance, 18, health regen, fear chance, alright? Because the spears have a fear ability. So that's the best combination of runes that I had at my disposal. So when I go get more runes, I'll come in here and just update them as I go, okay? But it is really important. You always try to make sure you have the highest tier possible, and after that, the next most important thing is the best stat available, alright? So once you get that synergy, then you go for the rune stats. But the synergy is the most important thing because it's going to buff you the most, okay? Now, once you have gone through and you have put all of the runes into the gear pieces, so you now have the best possible combination of runes for your gear. Well, now you've got some runes left over. What do you do with those? So you're going to open up your menu and come to Material Transmutation. All right, you're going to come over to Runes. You're going to click on that, and you're going to convert points. Now, if you see over here, I'm at Tier 1, and I'm most of the way around to Tier 2. You want to get this. This goes all the way up to Tier 4. So you do not want to transmute or cash in any of this stuff until you get it up to the Tier 4. That's how you get better runes than what you have. So when I cash in stuff at Tier 4, I'm guaranteed at least a green in a pretty high level. Usually I'll get blues. So if you come down here, you can see the percentages and things like that. So right here, you have a pretty good chance of getting greens. On Tier 2, also greens. But when you get to Tier 3, you start getting blue runes. You don't even have a chance of getting greens anymore. At Tier 4, you will only get blues. Alright? So you have a chance of getting higher quality, lower quality, or a selection chest. okay? Now, that will open automatically, okay? So when you get these, it'll usually just open up and give you the rune right away. You don't have to, like, go and open a box. These you may have to open. I'm not entirely sure on that. But the point is, though, that's how you're going to recycle your runes. So if you have a lot of... So what I do, since all my runes are now blue, every time I get white or green runes, I immediately come to this material transmutation, and I put all of my white and green runes, and I'll convert the points, or if I can get it up to tier 4, I'll just select whether I want an attack rune, defense, or a support rune, and then I'll just go ahead and transmute that. Alright? And that'll give you a reroll on some. You won't get all of the runes back. You'll get maybe 2 runes off of a tier 4 transmutation. You'll get roughly 2 runes, okay? But those 2 runes will be different than the runes you put in, and they'll be a higher quality. So then once you have those runes, you're going to go back in and see if those runes can help synergize or get a better stat for any of the stuff that you've got already, and then just rinse and repeat. If the runes you got aren't usable, you'll just come right back into here, and the 2 runes that you just got, you'll put them back in and convert the points again, alright? And then as you gain runes, you'll just continue to do that. You'll continue to cycle out lower tier stuff on your gear and replace it with higher tier and higher stat stuff. And then you'll come in here and recycle all of the old runes that are not usable for you. And as you saw when I was in this percentage, you might have noticed that when I came, so when I was up here on the tier 4 and I came down to bonus rewards, well, you can get rune fragments. That's 100% chance, okay? That's how I'm getting those rune fragments that I crafted that box over at the weapon merchant with. But you can also get those just by dissolving the runes, but you're not going to get any runes back through dissolving. It's not a recycle process, okay? And as you get these rune fragments, as you saw, you can only get 1 rune from the boxes you craft. Whereas if you use the recycling or the transmutation feature here, you'll actually end up getting more for your buck, so to speak. So that's basically what's going on with the runes. I will point out one other thing, and that's the Chaos runes, alright? Those are the highest tier runes that you can get, alright? Now, come here. So that was this right here, alright? So you can see right here, Chaos runes. Well, what is that? These actually have 2 stats instead of 1. But you can only get these from these Chaos chest runes, the rare Chaos rune selection chests and things like that. You can only get them that way, or by doing the dimensional trials on high tiers. So that would be in the co-op dungeon dimensional trial and these, but on higher tiers. So if I put this up to a higher tier, you'll notice now the rewards change to this. And one of the options, as you notice right here at the top, is the Chaos Rune Selection Chest. Okay, so that's how you get those Chaos Runes. Those are currently the best in the game because they're double stat. So you have to do these trials to get those Chaos Runes. That's really the only way, unless you get really lucky on the material transmutation. But again, even at tier 4, even at the tier 4, when you come down here, you only have a 0.1% chance, okay? 0.1% chance to get a Chaos Rune Selection Chest. But it's a guaranteed reward on higher tiered trials. So until you get those Chaos Runes, you're just going to have to deal with the regular 1 stat runes. Alright, but the Chaos Runes is the goal. Alright, but that's essentially everything you need to know about runes in this game, at least up till Tier 2. We are not in Tier 2 yet, so I don't know what that will hold. I haven't researched any of that yet. I like to be surprised. But it is very important that you get a good synergy on those runes, and it's also very important that you get good stats on those runes. Make sure that you at least have a rune in every slot, even if it's a lower you can have 1 blue and 2 whites if that's the best that you can do, but you have to have something in that slot. Okay, fill those slots as soon as you can with the best stuff you have available. It will increase your character power, your combat power, your CP. It'll increase that. It's not a huge jump, but it helps. You know, and the higher tier you get, the better. But that's my overview of runes and how they work and what to do with them. I hope it helped. and I will see you guys next time.